What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Today we're going to be taking a little look at landscaping, mainly weed whacking and mowing. Okay, so we'll look at a couple of techniques. We'll look at some tools. This is my weed whacker. You'll see this is a heavier machine with a brush cutting tip. Yeah, can you see that? This is a new one I just put on here. It's good for grass. Once it gets up above waist high, or even really above knee high, the cane grass here is hard to cut, so we're using a blade on that. This also can withstand rocks. You'll hear them, and then you just lift up. So it's a heavier machine for taller grass. When the grass is like this, it's just edging, we're going to use the other machine. And this is a Stihl German machine. It looks like most of the people that are doing commercial landscaping are using these. I see them in Brazil too, kind of the standard for saws and weed whackers. This is our heavy brush cutter, okay? This machine is heavy. It's not much fun to use. It's really powerful, but I feel it in my back when I use this machine, which is why we do less brush cutting and try to get it early so we can use the whip. This harness is from, I think it's from Shindaiwa, kind of an older school Japanese company. And they used to make really amazing whips and brush cutters, but they, their company's changed. I don't know that the modern stuff's as good. I have some old ones which are really cool, but they make this awesome harness. And you can see this thing's really heavy duty. It's got padding on the inside so it's comfortable. And then it's got this nice protective plate for the machine. You keep that on your right side. It's going to carry a lot of the weight, and you're not going to get that cutting from one of these crappy straps or another harness that's going to break on you in a couple of months. This is a good one. This here is our whip, okay? And you can see this is a much lighter machine. I'll put a little strap on this, and it's really kind of just balanced here. I can hold one hand. This is a Red Max. I don't know. This machine's been really good. It's a little bit on the light duty side. I kind of worry about it, but it's actually done really well for us. And I'm going to use this as an edger to get all that kind of stuff, okay? So let's talk about string. You can see this one, it's got decent length. It's a little short, and it's already starting to get frayed. Can you see that on the edges? Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. And look at the way we've got this strung. One string coming out both ends. Okay, you can do two strings. You could do one string on one side here and one string on the other side here. You have four, okay? The advantage I found about this is that it spins faster. There's less string. And I'm using less string overall, right? The four, they're going to get kind of short, and I'm going to throw out two pieces. It's just a lot faster, both to switch it out and the actual speed of this whip is faster with just the one. So I like it like this. This is this heavy duty blue line that I found. The guy recommended at the farm and garden here. And this is the heavy duty one. I've got a lighter one too. This one lasts pretty well. Rocks and fence lines will really shorten this, but this stuff is kind of like a cable, really heavy duty, and I've had good luck with it. And we'll see how we cut that to size right now. It's really important that when you cut line or when you load line, you want to cut a piece first. Otherwise, you're going to have to measure it every time, right? So this piece has already been cut. Wow, somebody cut that. I'm going to guess that's really long. And what I usually do is I usually measure from the head to this arrow. Can you see that there? There's an arrow on there. That's a measuring mark. And it's the approximate length of line you want, okay? So if I didn't just have one to copy like I do here, I would and cut it there, okay? I usually make a few, so I get ahead of myself. I'm guessing this is really long, so I'm going to cut a new one, and then we'll string it up and see how it does. Okay, I'm going to cut just a little bit longer than that. And this is how we string it. So I'm going to go through so I get the length I want, and I'll leave it a little bit long at first. And then it goes through these little fasteners, and then it's going to be secured on the one side. Okay, and then where's the other end? It's going to be coming out directly the other side. So I come over here, and here are the fasteners for this side. I'm going to go up through one, down through the other, and then out through the hole. And I'm going to see right away that, wow, my length is way off, isn't it? Okay, as you can see, I just need to adjust this one this way. This one is going to pull up the slack, as we do. Okay, that's a little long, but I'm liking that length, okay? It's always going to get shorter right away, so you start out a little long, no problem. So I've got a bunch of these cut to length already. And I'll keep those in my pocket. Now I don't have to run back every time I need to change my string, okay?
How many times do you usually change it?
So I measure everything by tank of gas. I'm going to go 1 tank of gas. How much can I do in 1 tank of gas? I can usually get through a tank of gas with only 1 change. But it depends. If I'm doing fence line, it's going to be hitting that fence line every once in a while. Then I'm going to be breaking pieces off. Then maybe I'll bring 4 because I don't want to have to come back. Yeah. So bring your gas, bring your water, and bring your string. Okay. Let's look at mixing gas. I'll bring it over here. Okay. So this is regular gasoline. And what you want to get is the no lead. Okay, so you can get this now. They use it for boats, but now people are using it for the machines because these machines don't like the lead. It fouls them up, makes them dirty. These are what they call 2-stroke motors. Do you know what that means? That means that the gas and oil are mixed inside the gas tank, and then it lubricates as it goes. So the motor is continually lubricated by the gas. In a regular, you know, what they call 4-stroke motor or something, you're going to have gas and oil separate systems. Okay, so that's why your car has gas tank, oil tank. The lawnmower also gas tank, oil tank. When you have separate gas and oil, you're going to keep it separate. Gas in the gas tank, oil in the oil tank. You'll really mess it up if you do it any other way. Same with these. If you run these without oil, you're going to break these machines. Okay, so what we do is we make what we call a, this used to say it, but now it's already, usually should have big mix. Okay, mix, because it's really crucial that you know which is which. The ratio is 50 to 1. 50 to 1. Okay, so let's take a look at that. How do we get 50 to 1? Okay, so look, Stihl oil. There's a bunch on the market. You want to get the good ones. These machines are expensive. You want to use the best oil that you can. This one's made for these machines. You can say it says 2-cycle engine oil, right? 2-cycle, 2-stroke. $78. $78, $80 for this. But I'm only using this much each time. Okay. So these are the ones it comes in if you don't buy it in bulk. This is for making 1 gallon. This is for making 2 gallons. That's why we keep these, because these are little measuring cups. For 2 gallons, I'm going now, not even to this mark, I'm going to that mark. Okay. Can you see that? I could use a funnel. Let me probably make this easier. I like where that level is. So let's go ahead and first of all, let's talk about this. This is an old nozzle. Look how cool this is, okay? I just screw it on, and I put that on the lip, and I turn it, and it goes, okay? Since then, we've become child and safety proof and OSHA approved. You can't buy these anymore. They're illegal. So now we have this. This is one of the better ones. All of them are equally fragile, like they don't last over time, and complicated. Like, look at this thing. It's got to you got to twist it so it fits, and then it's like that, okay? This is one of the better ones. They're obscene, like ridiculously crappy. So I try to find the old ones if I can, because these are really great. I don't have any safety stuff on this. You know, regulations don't always make our lives easier. 2 gallons. It's I try to get to this mark here. One cool thing, look at the way it has this marking on there. Can you see that? What do you see? Gasoline plus oil. They're reminding you one more time. Yeah? Like, do not put pure gasoline in this machine, please. Make sure it's green. Usually they have a filter, but I think the filter's on the other side. Yeah, it's in there. Okay, and here we go. Okay. Starting a 2-stroke, 2-cycle engine. Run, stop. Okay, I turn it on. And the first time I'm starting it in the day, it's cold, right? I haven't had any action. So this is my choke. That's off, that's on. I'm gonna put it to fully on, okay? Now, that's gonna give it more air in the beginning because she's cold. Can you see that under here, there's a button? Okay, that's the prime. The gasoline, the engine's got no gas in it, so I just got open the airway up, but it's got no gas. So I'm gonna push that bulb, and then you're gonna feel it kind of like, oh, start to resist. It's like, shh, 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 shh. You get a little pressure. Okay, now I know that there's gas in it, and now I'm just gonna start pulling. Okay, so lots of different ways to do it. When I'm working the machine, I'll do this with it on my back. That's tricky, because you have to like throw it one way and pull the other way. The easiest way is to go like this, you know, any position that's stable. Hold it down. Okay, did you hear that? It's what's called turning over. So the machine said, oh, and then stalled again. Why? It's got too much oxygen. So watch, I'm gonna turn it down to half. Okay, can you see? Up, all the way down. This is in the half. I'm gonna do it again. Let it warm up for a second, and then I'll bring it up to speed to make sure it doesn't die. Okay, let's look at technique for a second, okay? This thing is spinning like this. From here to here, that's the sweet spot. That's where you're doing your cutting, that's your edge. If you use from here to here, it's gonna wanna take the machine and make it go fling that way, okay? So this is your sweet spot here. As I'm using this machine, I'm gonna keep that sweet spot where I wanna cut. So if I'm cutting this edge here, there's my sweet spot. Can you see? I could either go this way or this way. Whereas if I'm going like this, now my sweet spot's never gonna be where I want it to be. Can you see if I go like this way, I'm always going the wrong way. If I go like this, what's gonna do? It's gonna go bang, bang, bang. Whereas if I go this way, I'm pushing in this way, the way it wants to go. I have perfect control, okay? You're gonna see basically I'm just using this. I'm not gonna use it out here. It's not great for flattening stuff out. What it is good for is cutting edges in, okay? It's gonna be this kind of a motion. Okay, so let's turn it on. We'll just take a quick look at that, see what that looks like. You're gonna be listening to the revs of the machine. Use what you need to cut the stuff you're doing. Don't overtax the machine. This machine's a little bit different. On this one, you wanna just use as much as you need. As the string gets shorter, you're gonna need less. As the string is longer, you're gonna need more. It takes longer for that longer string to get around and requires more force from the motor. I just forgot the most important part. Safety first. And I made safety last. I should have talked about this first. But then you would have forgotten about it already, so this is more important. Before we start doing any kind of work, safety first, okay? Here's one method, okay? What is this? This is great. I wouldn't use this for the mowing machine. This is great for this thing. No, for that thing, okay? Any whip, especially the blade, has a tendency to spit rocks back. With a big machine, people wear Shin Guards. They have one with a fatter shaft. And so this one's cool. It doesn't work well with a hat, but when you put this on, you see, and okay, my eyes are protected, but also my whole face is protected. this thing's kind of annoying, and if Stihl ever sees this video, this thing needs a back strap. Because here's what happens. I put it on, I start working. All day long. So Stihl, if you're listening, this needs a back strap of some kind here. This should be a 1, 2, 3, yeah. Or old school, here we are, look, boom. Good, but that's crucial. Weed whipping should be fun. It really is. It really is like, okay, the machine's light, it's powerful. Make it fun. It's a little art project. You're like, look how much better that looks. Okay, we're gonna follow that with the mower, right? We're gonna follow that with a mower. Why might you want to weed whip before the mower, or better be to mow before the weed whip? What do you think? The vacuum, I call it the vacuum because it's a big vacuum machine, isn't it? It's a lawn mower, but it's also a lawn vacuum. So you weed whip first because you're gonna follow with the mower. You're not gonna go all the way up to the edge, but you're gonna get close and you're gonna suck that all up. If you go mow first, like everybody does, then you go mow and then you go weed whip and you leave all that. We're using this stuff, right? We're gonna take this and let's say that we're gonna put it all on that compost pile where we wanted more green, okay? So let's start out with the weed whipping and then let's go up and take a look at the mower right now. Now this is perfect because we get to illustrate another thing that we talked about. We talked about the Celtic, is it Celtic or Celtic? Celtic calendar, which is also the Hawaiian moon calendar, same thing, biodynamic calendar. Phases of the moon in relation to plants. There's a perfect time to prune and mow, okay? When is that time? I think it's within 3 days of the full moon or 3 days after a new moon. Okay, that's awesome. Maybe it would last a little longer, maybe more efficient to mow at that time. Right now, these guests are gone. That's the perfect time to mow. So I'm saying, so it's always really about what works with your lifestyle. Yeah, that would be nice, maybe, if we could do that. But mowing, I'm gonna say, when it's not gonna bother you. The main problem with mowing is the noise. Okay?
It's like dry enough.
Is it dry enough? Totally. This is almost, well, it's gonna be good now, but this morning it would have been too wet. When it's wet, what happens? It clumps, doesn't it? It clumps, and then that's super annoying. You can't even do it. It doesn't work. So let's look at how this machine operates. We're gonna, of course, put in what kind of gas? Mix or straight?
Straight.
Right, how do we know that? How can we, if we forget, oh, was the lawnmower take, they make it really obvious here. Look at the gas cam. Who can show me where the gas cap is? Gas pump, but no oil, right? No oil, so that's straight gas, okay? Check out the way, whenever you see that, you're gonna see on the other side, what do you think goes in there?
Oil.
Exactly. So you can see this is a machine where it's got two separate systems. One is a lubrication system and one is their gas system, okay? Different. This is why this is not two-cycle. Okay. We're mowing and we're gonna catch the grass in here. You see the way those are two hooks and a shelf, okay? So we lift up this and you're gonna see there's a shelf. See that shelf?
Yep.
It's on the shelf. And then I just lift up my hooks and I hook them on there. Does that make sense? Now watch. Boom. Okay. Here's my controls. On, speed. Okay. This machine is old. This is a 15-year-old mower. It's a Honda commercial. I think it's like $1,800 to get a new one of these. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I heard. And what a kick-ass machine. I had no idea it was a commercial mower until I went in to get the blade replaced. You've got a commercial mower. I was like, oh, how cool. But this thing is a workhorse. We've done no maintenance on this thing. It's just a beast, and it's been so abused by all these crazy people that have used it on this farm. Like running over huge rocks. You just can't believe what people have done to it. And it still goes. It's like a tractor. This thing is awesome. So we'll take good care of it, but remember, this thing is a beast. the reason I'm saying this is because this doesn't work anymore. It ought to be on full blast all the time, okay? All the way on choke. I'll start it on slow. Let's put some gas in here. This thing's got a nice gas leak, so it's always empty. Okay, that's full. This is the air filter. There's usually a gas on and off below the air filter, and here it is. It's on. Okay, it's got a little diagram. Gasoline, that direction. So our clutch and our drive, okay? So I'm gonna push them both in, and I'm gonna pull on this. It catches on 2-3 pulls. The machine's awesome, still going. The way it works is, I've got it all the way in, and what's gonna happen is, it's gonna engage, it's gonna wanna take off. So I start it up, and then boom, I just let go. That's why I have it on slow. When I'm ready to use the machine, this is the drive, okay? I'm gonna turn it on and show you. It's gonna start, and you're gonna see that this thing is gonna look like this. When this machine's running, you're not gonna be able to vacuum grass unless that thing is filled like this with air, okay? And that's a function of letting off, just pushing in my clutch. It's gonna go, it's gonna fill up. And then when you're ready to go, here's your control, okay? So I start it, and then I let go, and I'm gonna do it all over again. On, slow, give myself some room. I never wanna have anything in front of the mower when I start it, yeah? Let my string back, watch. Okay, remember, that thing is gonna get full. You're gonna dump that as few times as you can. You have to dump it a lot, but you're like, that's what slows you down. So you let it go as much as you can until you see that it's no longer really got that nice full. You can see that the air is not passing and it's sagging again. That's the time to switch this thing out. You're gonna pull this off. A bunch of grass is gonna fall on the ground because it's gonna be so full. And then you're gonna look down here and you're gonna see that it's full. Crammed sometimes, especially if it's wet. That's what we talked about. That's going to block the air. It's going to do that same function. It's not going to work. So you need to reach in here and pull that grass out. Notice that when it's like this, that blade's not turning. So it's scary, but I don't reach my hands in there. I just clear out enough that I know that the air is eventually going to blow it back. I just take a handful, either toss it in there or toss it on the pile. So here we are in the field. And you can see the grass here. This is too tall to hit with a whip. This is cane grass. It's really tough. And so there, from that gate, from that opening that way, I could still hit that with a whip. And there's a big advantage to hitting it before it gets this tall. And now it's kind of fibrous. I need to use the blade. So I'm going to show you a little technique and how I work with the blade. And there you go. That's Hawaiian tropical landscaping, mowing, brush cutting, weed whipping. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and join us next time for a new adventure. Thanks.